This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and today I have two very special guests from the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Jeff Gray, Superintendent, and we have a very special guest, Rob Gamberg. How are you two doing today?
Fantastic. Great, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here. Rob, one of the things we kind of talked about even just before coming onto the show today was a little bit of understanding of what that big balloon is in the sky that we see sometimes over the city of Alpena and over the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, which is the Silent Swarm, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it sure is. And believe it or not, I can offer some insights on that one. So,
please do.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, my name is Rob Gamberg. Just for fun, I go by ICE. Flew in the Navy for a lot of years before I got a chance to come and do this fleet experimentation piece as a civilian for the Navy. But I bring a team up here every year to execute an experimentation event called Silent Swarm. So we're coming back again this year, July 15th to the 26th for Silent Swarm 24. So it'll be our third year, working in partnership with Jeff and his team at NOAA, as well as the Air National Guard team at the Combat Readiness Training Center. So we'll be up here for 2 weeks again this year, doing some experimentation with small unmanned systems.
Awesome.
In the air, on the water, under the water, and also we'll set up some sites on the land to to work some specific experimentation objectives. And as you mentioned, one of those assets that we'll use will be the aerostat, which is that large balloon that we'll put about 400 feet up into the air, which allows us to extend the range of some of our communication signals that we're looking at in the environment. Right?
Oh, really? So it's not just a marketing or, hey, we're here. Yeah. So there's actually testing and things that are going on.
It is a key component of our experimentation because we spread these technology initiatives all throughout Thunder Bay. We've actually utilized last year Thunder Bay Island and Middle Island as part of that experimentation. So to network all those things together, we have to get some elevations. So Jeff and his guys actually allowed us to use some of the smokestacks on the buildings next to their building as well. So that elevation allows us to expand the experimentation environment.
Wow, that's really cool that that's happening here in Alpena.
It is, and man, Alpena has been fantastic. Yeah.
Isn't it a great city?
Oh my goodness, we absolutely fallen in love with it. And we bring our guys up here, in the wintertime for a planning event. That's going to happen in the middle of February. And for the folks that have never been here before, we have to give them a little bit. Okay, imagine if you will, you come back in the summer. This is going to be beautiful, 70 degrees. It's not going to be frozen, but once everybody's just absolutely fallen in love with the community here, the environment here, and man, all the folks are just so great to work with.
Well, and I'll tell you, your nickname is absolutely perfect for this time of year. ICE is an absolutely wonderful nickname, especially looking outside the windows, nowadays. Jeff,
ICE and his team, this is really bringing some of the smartest people in the country and the world here for a couple of weeks. Engineers, these different companies, universities, different folks from different branches of the military, and ICE has been gracious enough to help connect some of those people with students in Northeast Michigan. So in addition to bringing hundreds of people to our city for a couple weeks, we're also starting to make connections with schools so we can inspire the next generation of engineers and scientists at the same time. We're also working with them. The data they're collecting helps us protect the sanctuary in the Great Lakes, and so it's a total win-win.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see the snowball effect too after year one.
Again, snowball. Here we go.
There's a lot of winter puns today. But it's to see that effect though after year one, to bring it back and then to partner with more educational opportunities, which I know is a lot of what you do at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, is being able to elaborate on the wonderful research and discoveries and things that are going on every day. and being able to bring kids and anybody, any walk of life into your sanctuary and being able to, express like the beautiful things that are happening, maybe under the radar sometimes because, we move forward on certain things, but it's just such a cool resource to have. And I say this every time you're on the show, but to have a NOAA and, a sanctuary like yours in our community and how it brings people together. And, Rob, talk about a little bit about the impact of bringing a lot of the individuals that are helping with the research here to Alpena.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'll start by talking, once again, going back to that partnership, because this thing started, in a meeting 3 years ago. Thanks to the good friends at the National Guard. Hey, you should go talk to those NOAA folks up in Alpena. And we found ourselves in a room with Jeff's team kind of sitting on one side of a table, and we were on the other. I don't think either one of us knew what the heck we were about to talk about. And we started talking, and we realized it was all about that, man, we're doing science. Science for a little bit of a different, maybe ultimate customer, but at the end of the day, it's all about a scientific methodology, a love of science, and that's really what brings the two teams together, which is kind of what, all the folks that are developing these new technologies, that partnership, that allows them to feed on that as well. So we really create, working with the folks here in Alpena, just an amazing experimentation environment. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity to just really bring the people together. We have a baseline plan of what we're going to do, but man, we leave it wide open to try new things. And that is really a lot of the magic that happens here during that 2-week event, because we learn a lot of things that we didn't even imagine before we brought everybody together in that team and allowed them to try those new and innovative ideas in just rapid iterations in an experimentation environment. So it's pretty daggone magical, quite frankly.
This initiative, the Silence Forum, is lucky to have passion like yours, and I'm sure that exudes to everybody that's working with you and collaborating with you on this, because I feel the passion that you have for this, and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we do. We have an amazing team, and that's really, and we have a lot of fun. And the folks that'll see us, while we're up here and interact with us, I think they'll see and they'll feel that as well. I mean, there's just a lot of excitement about what we're doing, but man, it is just, everybody is really pulling together and just having a great time. And shoot, what better place to do that than in northeastern Michigan in the summertime.
Thank you so much for picking Alpena as a wonderful place to be and to do this research and partnering with Jeff. I know Jeff is very modest about the partnerships and the collaboration he creates in this community, but Jeff, you're always just rocking it, and it's amazing to bring all of this together. But I want to thank both of you for being on the show today. I wish you both good luck in your February meeting upcoming, and a lot of things get planned for that July event. So thank you both so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned after the break for Hope Shores Alliance. Welcome back, everyone. Our next guests are from the Hope Shores Alliance here in Alpena. We have Paige Alia. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes. And Valerie Williams. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for having us here today.
Well, thank you both for being here. It's wonderful to have two guests from Hope Shores Alliance. So it's not just Val and I talking all the time.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I know you have such a great team and strong team with wonderful people that are, step up for your organization and the community. And, I always have wonderful things to say about you and a lot of the other nonprofits. But, Hope Shores Alliance and what you do to inspire hope for people going through some really tough times in their lives, and providing not only just that hope, but the resources to get to the next level in life and the next step. And you do a lot for their kids too. And, it's amazing the things that you all do there just to make it so that people can simply live.
Thank you.
And it's just incredible.
Thank you.
I learn a lot from being on this show, from having wonderful people like the both of you on here and wonderful organizations. But the impact is shown. And I was saying this too before we even got on, started taping, was your website is fantastic.
Thank you.
Because it shows everything. It goes through wish lists and volunteer opportunities, and it just goes through all the full gamut of what your services are, and it presents it in a very easy way for a person like me to understand about the things that you're doing. So if you've never been out there and if you've never experienced their website, please visit the website.
Thank you.
There's really good things on there.
It is really good, and you started by saying we have a really great team at Hope Shores. We really do, and Paige is one of the folks from our team that I'm excited to have folks here speak today. They'll be sharing some information about some events and things that we have planned for this year. But when I think about our website and I think about our Facebook page and the feedback that I hear from the community about the ways that we're connecting, Paige is involved in a lot of that, you know, those media and marketing committee meetings and awareness committee meetings. And sometimes they're the things that pull us away from, you know, our to-do lists, but that work really is important because that's where we're connecting. So thank you for mentioning that. And thank you, Paige, and everybody else involved, because it really does make a difference. So under Paige's leadership, I will say our awareness committee is so strong and so involved in our community. We have a few different awareness months that we recognize every year, but as you mentioned before we got on, January is National Stalking Awareness Month. Really kind of a neat, interesting connection there to the community of survivors is National Stalking Awareness Month. It was co-founded by somebody named Debbie Riddle. And Debbie lost her sister in 2003 as a result of murder from a stalking situation. So her sister Peggy Klink was murdered in 2003. So Debbie stepped forward as an activist and decided, you know, we need to do something to stop this or to raise awareness, and co-founded the National Stalking Awareness Month. And some things about Peggy that Debbie recalled or spoke about in the past is that Peggy had a sparkling personality, and as the stalking situation continued, she watched that sparkle fade. So in creating this event this year, the Awareness Committee, with Paige leading, came up with the idea to have these two events that we just held this past week at Alpena George N. Fletcher Public Library and the Ascota Public Library. We got together and some folks showed up in some sparkling outfits and things to kind of like make it more fun, and we had a photo booth and some rock painting activities that we did together, and we try to do that to connect again with the community of survivors that we work with, but also with the community in general, to say, you know, these are hard topics that we have to talk about and we need to raise awareness around, but we're getting together to provide a space for healing and connection, and the activities themselves are a resource. It's a way for us to process some of these harder things that we have to do every day and talk about every day in a way that's fun. We can interact and say, hey, let's paint these rocks together, let's do this crafty activity, and we're doing that while wearing something sparkly to honor and commemorate somebody who lost their life because of stalking. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that and thank Paige, but Paige has some information to share on the rest of our awareness.
Yeah, so what's really great about awareness this year is that we took feedback over the past 2 years from the community on like what they're wanting to engage in and how they're wanting to learn, and because the topics are so serious, that can be really intimidating to like walk into a space with a bunch of folks who know a lot of information. So we wanted to make and create some softer ways to step into those spaces and just create opportunity to have dialogue, conversation versus a whole bunch of information. So the rock painting is a part of that that's going to carry forward all year, and it's actually a bigger part of what we're doing as prevention work, which is a new part of Hope Shores that I'm really excited about. We'll have to talk about it another time too.
Yeah.
But so all year this year, it's planting seeds of hope. And we'll be spreading those seeds across the community through both the rock painting, but also we will have flower seeds in the warmer months, of course, that we'll be spreading across the communities too. It's a part of greening. It's a part of saying, survivors, we're here for you, we see you, and we're with you, and saying no to perpetration. And that it's going to be safer for survivors in our communities, and it's not going to be safe for perpetrators to continue doing those harms.
Yeah, and you all help create that voice for others that may not have that voice. which is extraordinarily imperative. Just being able to, call your 24-hour hotline and be able to talk to somebody, and for them to be able to give resources or a place to stay or clothing or resources for their kids. I mean, there are so many things that you all do on an everyday basis that it's mind-blowing in a good way, and like I said, just going and looking at some of the things that you need to help support these services. I'm sure you're not like any other nonprofit. You don't need any funds or things of that nature, but and I'm saying that so facetiously because it is absolutely vital, that donations come through to help, and the donations don't have to just be monetary donations. They can be items that people use every day, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have our wish list, like you said, on our website. Volunteering time is a great way to support our organization as well. Right now we are still seeking volunteers. I talked about this a few times now, but with this new support group type activity group that we have coming up, we have a vision board activity that Rose Nowak from Better Living Massage will be leading, and we're looking for not only supplies for that and magazine donations if folks are done with their magazines. Bring them by. Like, we'd be happy to take those off your hands. Also, volunteers to do more groups like that, activities that, again, we can connect with the community and with survivors around these topics that we want to talk about. And I love how you said we create a voice, but I think we hold space, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what word you would use, but I think of that when we're having these groups or even just connecting at awareness events, and then people can share their voice, and nobody's ever wrong. You're not wrong. No. You can say whatever you need to say, and the space will look different depending on what activity we're doing, but we try to accommodate as many folks as we can.
Well, I thank you both for what you're doing in this community, and for the people and survivors, and all the awareness events page that you're putting out there to make sure that people know it, say it, and see it. I think that's wrong on the hashtag, but...
Know it, name it, stop it?
Know it, name it, stop it.
But we like yours too.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Maybe that will be next year.
Feel free to use it. Feel free. But thank you both for being here. Happy New Year to you both.
Thange you too.
Paige and I look forward to more conversations. And Val, of course, I always look forward to our conversations. But I want to say thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us as we continue to learn about the world of nonprofits in our local community. Stay tuned after the break for the ACC segment.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to take our time together today to talk a little bit about what's happened this week and this month at ACC. We had our January board meeting last night, and I would like to present to you some of the things I presented to the Board of Trustees. First, we're in the first, completing the first week of spring semester classes, and we have some enrollment data that's important. This is from Wednesday of this week, so these are pretty solid numbers. They won't change much. So head count, number of students who have enrolled at ACC is 1,548, and that's up 5% compared to the spring semester 2023. I reminded the trustees that spring semester 2023 last year at this time, our enrollment was #1 in the state in terms of growth. I think it was about 10 or 11% up. So that bar jumped quite a bit last year. So us exceeding that bar by 5% is significant. Contact hours, that is the thing that people pay for. That was 15,626 hours, up 4.6% compared to spring semester of 2023. Continuing students, these are the students, if you take out the folks who graduate, who we would expect to stay with us one semester after the next. This is the largest pool of contact hours we have. That's up 15% in contact hours. This is a very significant number. This goes to retention. How well do we retain students, and how well do they complete? And this is obviously a really important metric. Online and hybrid courses, that's a breakout line item that we show. Those are up 10% in head count and 10.6% in contact hours. So this lets us know that that continues to be a modality, a way that students want to learn. And we need to continue to make that modality available to them. And then, of course, the budget. This would be what we predicted revenue from tuition and fees for this semester. We are up, we will be up, I think, about $150,000 on that, or a little more than 5%. So this is a good thing. It's not a huge amount on a $16 million budget, but it's a good spot to be. So this was a good report. Kudos to the entire staff. This is an institutional focus and an institutional accomplishment. It shows, I think, that we're on the right track, that we're doing meaningful things that help students succeed. A mentor of mine, Dr. Newport, told me one time, and he was right, people vote with their feet. And if they don't like what they get, sometimes they don't complain about it, they just go elsewhere. So they vote with their feet both ways. If they're coming to us, that means that we're probably on the right track. That doesn't mean that nothing can be improved. And we focus on that every day. Another thing that I shared was a note from the state MyLeap agency, that is the new Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential. That was Governor Whitmer creating this agency toward the end of 2023. And this was a good, very nice note to receive. They do systematic audits of financial aid. Financial aid is a very important part of what we do in student success. And their note indicated that our financial aid operation was absolutely clean. So, and then the last paragraph said the cooperation extended by our institution staff during the completion of this review was greatly appreciated. Thank you for your commitment to the students attending Alpena Community College and for your participation in state financial aid programs. So I was curious, and how many students receive state or federal financial aid, and what amount of dollars does that represent? And so we did that, and did that check for this report, and approximately 89% of ACC students receive some form of financial aid for spring 2024. That's 9 out of 10. And that represents over $3,196,000 in financial support to ACC students, a significant amount of funding, a significant amount of compliance landscape to deal with. Many of these programs are different. They have very fine-tuned and finely calibrated compliance regulations. And it's difficult to manage. And so kudos to Financial Aid Director Amanda Belusar, Financial Aid Technician Lexi Young, and Financial Aid Office Coordinator Kristen Schnell for their work on behalf of ACC and its students. It's substantially important. And last, I wanted to recognize and commend, we had a presentation from Coach Bobby Allen, our men's basketball coach, and 3 of his players, one of whom, Daddy Hill, had created a wonderful montage of sayings, philosophy, aphorisms related to Martin Luther King, and posted them in a hallway on our campus. If you happen to be on our campus, walk through there. This is Daddy Hill's work. It's wonderful work. We appreciate his leadership and his effort to make Dr. King's words come to life here in northeastern Lower Michigan at Alpena Community College. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Queen Bee's Knees LLC production, a Morgan Murphy media company. All rights reserved.